Hi guys, I'm Danielle and welcome back to my channel, D&J Reads. So today I'm bringing you kind of like a 25 and 25, but the way I'm doing it is I am shopping my shelves for all 25 books. So I had to have purchased all of these books before 2025 in order to have them on this list for the year of 2025. So first book I really want to pick up is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Erriu. This is the Fairy Loot edition and it is absolutely gorgeous. I have heard really, really good things about this one, and I really do think I'm going to like it. I know it follows like a girl who's been cursed to fall in love with a star, and the star is out for wrath and is coming for her, something along those lines. Again, I've heard good things. Very, very pretty book. I love pretty books, and I want to read my pretty books, so that's why this one was added to the list for this year. Next up, I have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonam-Young. This is the first in her next series. I read the second one. I have to go back and read this one. I have loved almost every single book that I've read from this author. I think almost all of them got 5 stars, or they did all get 5 stars. This one is a little bit iffy for me though, because I know there is like a child involved and I don't love books with kids, which is why I kind of put this one off. But I'm very excited to pick this one up and I'm hoping to do that this year. Next up is The Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. I actually have read this one. So this is one that I can check off my list. I am making this video a little bit late, which is why I've already read it. But this book was so good. I read this in one day. I don't know what it was about this, but Meg Shaffer's books kind of give me like a fairy tale kind of feel. I feel like I was just sucked into this book and I could not put it down. Literally one sitting I read this in. So, so good. Check this out if you think you might like it as well. But highly, highly suggest this one. It is, like I said, a fairy tale-ish kind of book. Girl is looking for her missing sister and they end up going to this other realm. Pick it up. Then next is another fairy loot book. I have Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. Just as pretty as the other one. This one I know follows a girl who's sick and she kind of gets sucked into this like video game world where she is the evil temptress. Sounds really exciting. Very excited to pick this up. Like every other book that I own, just haven't gotten to it yet. And then another one that I'm very excited for is Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon. This book is stunning. I just love the rainbow colors that we get. And look at that pink under the cover. Oh my gosh. And it is a monster romance. I love monster romances, so I cannot wait to pick this one up. I actually bought this book as like a pick me up for myself. I was having a bad day one day and I was at Barnes and Noble and I saw this and I was like, I have to get this one. I've read her Ice Planet Barbarian series. I've read like 6 or 7 of them, really enjoyed them. So I want to pick something else up from her. Next up, a book from one of my favorite authors is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. I'm very, very excited for this one. She's actually coming out with an adult book this year, and I cannot wait for that. But this one, I guess, follows a girl who's been promised to the gods because she's the 13th child, and somehow she has powers and is able to save a king or prince from something, and then things go from there. Very excited for this one, and I did get the Barnes and Noble edition that has the really pretty gilded edges. So excited. I will be picking this one up soon. Then I have The Courting of Bristol Keats, which is another fairy loot book. They did an amazing job on this. I know this one is like fae and making a deal and going to another realm. This artwork just makes me want to pick this up right now, but I do not have time and I have many other books on my list before that, but this one will be getting read this year. Another fairy loot book that I want to pick up is Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. This book is really, really pretty. I absolutely love the edges on this one. The flowers, so pretty. It looks really nice on my shelf as well. I've had this one for a little bit longer than I would have liked to have it without reading it, but I have the second one too, which is why I really, really want to get to this first one. This is in her Kingdom of the Wicked world. but this is a more adult one, and I don't know who it follows. I think it follows the Prince of Envy. So I'm very excited for this. I did manage to finally finish her Kingdom of the Wicked series, which is what I wanted to do before picking this one up. Finished that last year, so now I'm going to be picking this one up. Then I have a book from Aardvark Book Club, which is Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. This one follows the Loch Ness Monster and its romance. I really liked Lana Ferguson's other book, which was The Fake Mate. It was a wolf shifter one, and I'm hoping that I really love this one as well. This one actually is signed, which is really nice. So I'm excited to get to that, hopefully soon. Then I also have another book box book, which kind of is a theme in this video, but I have Rise of the Cinder Fae by Whitney Dean. This book is absolutely gorgeous. I love the style of it. I actually don't even get this book box. I don't remember what book box it's from. Let me see if it says on here. Unplugged book box. I bought this on a resale site because I needed to have a book that had the pumpkins on the edges. That is the only reason I bought this book. I didn't even know what it was about. But I do know it's Fae now. They live in like a pumpkin-y fall world. So I'm probably going to pick this one up a little bit closer to the fall time. Then I have Fairy Loot's Howl's Moving Castle book by Diana Wynne Jones. This is another super pretty edition. I absolutely love the movie for this. So I knew I was going to like the book too. So I picked this up. I actually have book 2 and 3 coming later this year. I bought those. So I want to get through the whole thing this year. So I have to actually start it. So that is why this is on my list. I'm very, very excited for that one too. Then we're going to switch over to Book of the Month. So I have The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. I don't really remember what this one was about, other than I think it's like an older woman who goes to like a house that she was left on this island and she has to come to find herself. I really like Matt Haig. He did the Midnight Library and the Comfort Book, and I really enjoyed both of those. So I wanted to pick up his newest one, and I'm just excited for it, like I am excited for every other book that I put on this list. Then I have the Fairy Loot edition of The Atlas Paradox by Olivie Blake. This one is book 2 in the Atlas 6 series. So finally, I'm getting to a book 2 here, and I'm going to continue on with the series. I'd like to read book 3 as well. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I know this is dark academia, and there are 6 people that are trying to go to be admitted into, I want to say it was like the Library of Alexandria, but only 5 of them are going to get in. So it's kind of like a competition to see who's going to get in. Again, this is book 2, so I'm very excited to pick that one up, and we'll hopefully be continuing on as well. Then I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I know I've talked about this one a couple times. I've put it on some TBRs and I just haven't gotten around to it. But this one is a world where if you don't have magic, they're going to kill you. And I guess there are some trials. Trials are a big buzzword for me, and a competition. So this one is high up on my TBR. I'm hoping that I'm going to get to this one before the 3rd book comes out, because I have the first 2 in the Barnes & Noble version, and I was hoping to pre-order the 3rd one if I like it. If not, I'll end up getting rid of these. But I can only hope to read this before that happens. You never know. I probably won't, because I've been having tons of trouble reading physical books this year, but we'll see. Then next up is A Cruel and Fated Light by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is book 2 of her Dark and Hollow Star series. This one, I don't really remember too much from that first one. I remember I liked it. I remember there was fae, there was fighting, there was politics, which are all things I really like. So again, I'm hoping to like this one to continue on with the series. I know book 3 is out as well, and book 4 might be coming out soon. So I'm hoping that this one gets read this year. That's why I put it on the list, because I didn't want to put it off anymore. Then I also have Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune, which is book 2 after The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm excited to follow this character in this one, who is the caretaker of the children in the first one. I believe his name was Arthur. I'm very excited for that, and hopefully I'm going to like this one. I really wanted to read this last year. I just didn't get around to it. I'm hoping I'll pick it up this year. Next up is another Aardvark Book Club box book. That is a mouthful. And that is The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Parry. It's fairies. I think it has to do with like a school-ish setting. I do think it's kind of historical. It looked good, so I picked it up for that month. Very excited for this one. The next book that I have on my list, which I am praying that I finish this year, I am going to have to read the first book again though, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I loved Six of Crows when I read it. I don't know why I didn't just go and pick this one up right away. It didn't happen. I've read all the other books from her. I really, really want to pick this one up, hoping to do it soon. Next up, kind of like the Leigh Bardugo one, I don't know why I didn't read this sooner, is going to be A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. I love most of V.E. Schwab's stuff. Don't know why I haven't picked this one up yet. It's been on my TBR for a while. I got it as a birthday present a couple years ago, read the first one, just didn't get around to continuing on. So I will be picking this up this year and hopefully finishing the series out. Next one I really want to pick up is going to be Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. This is book 2 in her Fortuna Sworn series. I have the Fairy Loot editions. They're super, super pretty. I liked the first one a lot, and I'm hoping that it's just going to get better and better as we go. So I really do want to pick this one up and finish the series out so that if Fairy Loot does do the last book, I can pick that one up too. Next book up is actually going to be another sequel, and that is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, which is the sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I read that book 2 years ago and I absolutely loved it. I was able to find a set of these old covers at a library sale, so I was super excited to pick them up. I really just need to actually pick it up, sit down and read it and finish out the next book in the series as well. Again, hopefully I'll be doing that this year because this is the year of Danielle trying to finish series. Don't know if it's going to happen. This kind of all seems daunting, but we will see. Then next up is another sequel, which is Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This is the sequel to Belladonna. I read Belladonna a year and a half ago, and I had such an amazing time with it. I am having such a great time with this one too. I'm actually currently listening to the audiobook as I read along with the physical book, which is why I don't have it here. It is downstairs and I did not feel like getting it. But I'm really enjoying this one. So this is going to be another one that I can actually check off my list soon. That is exciting. Then last sequel that I have on this list is going to be The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. This is the sequel to The Prison Healer. I really enjoyed The Prison Healer when I read it. That was probably 3 years ago. So a lot of these books, unfortunately, I'm going to have to read the first one again. So I kind of have to be in like a binging mood so that I could just read all of them in a row and not continue to leave series unfinished. We'll see if that happens. Then a series I want to start, which is a good thing I own both of them and it's only a duology, is going to be A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is the Illumicrate version and it is very, very pretty. I have both of them. I have enjoyed Rebecca Ross's other books, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to pick this one up and like it as well because I know this is Fae. It has to do with music, all things I really enjoy. So this is going to be high up on my list as well. And then last, but definitely not least, is this beautiful Illumicrate version of This Woven Kingdom by Tahera Mafi. And this is book 1 in the series. I own 3 of the Illumicrate versions, and I have not read any of them yet. Obviously not 3 of the same book, 3 of the ones that are out right now. But I don't want to keep buying the Illumicrate books if I'm not going to read it and enjoy it. So I really need to pick this up before the 4th book they put out in the Illumicrate version because Illumicrate is so expensive to send to the US. And if I'm not going to like it, I don't want to have a whole set of books that I'm not going to like. So this is the last one on my list, but I'm very excited for it as well. I've seen a couple people really, really enjoy this series. So I have high hopes and I'm really hoping I'm going to love it. Wow. I feel like I talked forever there, and this video is probably going to be way shorter than the time it actually took me to film the video, but that is okay. I had a good time filming it. I had a good time taking all my books out and seeing which ones that I really do want to read this year. I am excited for all of them, and I really hope I love them. This is definitely going to be very annoying to put away, but that is okay. I have 25 books out here on this table. We'll see how long that takes and if I can figure out where they all go again. But that is it for today. If you've read any of these and think I'm going to like them, definitely let me know in the comments below because then I will try and maybe make that book a priority unless I have it scheduled for like a certain time of the year. But if you want to leave a comment and don't really know what to say, why don't you leave the jack-o'-lantern emoji for these beautiful pumpkin edges on this Whitney Dean book? And I will see you next time. Bye.